All right, so this is a calculus-themed Who Wants to Be a Millionaire game. Let's take a look at the rules of the game. So rule number one, there are hyperlinks throughout the game. Some of them will be underlined words or phrases, or they might be shapes or images. And so in a moment, we will take a look at those. And these hyperlinks will help you to transition during the game. Rule number two, please only use each lifeline once during the game. You can use more than one lifeline during a question. Rule number three, let's take a further look at those lifelines. So for each question, there will be 3 poll the audience and 3 phone a friend lifeline options. And this means that if you choose to use one of those lifelines, you will have 3 options from which to choose. 2 of the options will have a correct answer, and 1 of those options will have an incorrect answer. And so this is to make the game as realistic as possible. We know that if you've watched Once Upon a Millionaire, or Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, the people that they phone may not always have the correct answer, as well as the audience may not always have the correct answer. So try to make it as realistic as possible. Rule number 4, if you choose a 50-50 lifeline and have remaining lifelines that you wish to use, you must click the go back to 50-50 question. And there's a hyperlink at the bottom of the screen for that. This will take you back to the 50-50 option. Otherwise, you will click on the go back to question hyperlink. And so if you've not used your 50-50 and you clicked on a phone a friend option, you would need to click the go back to question hyperlink, and that would take you back to the question with 4 options instead of 2. Rule number 5, after you have answered 5 questions correctly in a row, no matter how you do throughout the rest of the game, you will win $1,000. Now, once you reach to 10 questions and you've answered the first 10 questions correctly in a row, you will leave with $32,000. So that $1,000 after 5 becomes $32,000 after 10. And even if you miss a question, you will finish with $32,000. All right, rule number 6. And, after each correctly answered question, there will be a box that pops up on the screen, and you will be given the option to quit with your current reward. And so at that time, the game is over, and you can replay the game if you choose, but you will but you do quit with that reward. Rule number 7, if you incorrectly answer a question, well, guess what happens? Yeah, the game is over. Now, obviously, we just mentioned it after 5, you get $1,000. After 10 correctly answered questions, you get $32,000, but the game is still over if you miss a question. And there will be an option in the box that pops up that gives you the ability to replay the game, or you can just end the game altogether. Rule number 8, and this is just for fun. You can multiply your winnings amounts times the number 0.0005 for the total amount of bonus points that you earned for upcoming exams. So, for example, if you win $1,000, that will give you 0.5 points to put on the next exam. If you win $32,000, that will give you 16 points. And if you win 1 million, that will give you 100 points. Now, maybe at 100 total points, that would just probably translate to, maybe we can figure out how maybe to get those points added to the end of the class, like out of a total points altogether. So just for fun, though, I thought we would do that that bonus points translation. All right, so let's take a couple, and I'm gonna get out of the slideshow here. Let's take a look real quick at these let's just start from the beginning here. All right, so from this current slide, we're gonna start here. So when you start from the beginning and you're ready to start, you will click on here. Okay, and here's the hyperlink. And then here's the first question. I'll just let you take a look at it. I'm not going to answer it, but I will show you. if you don't know this question, and let's say you want to use one of your lifelines, okay? Let's say you want to do the 50-50. So you'll click 50-50, and it'll take 2 questions answers away, and it'll give you 2 left. And remember, I mentioned what if you need to use another lifeline. So we were gonna, let's say I want to phone a friend. So now look what you've got. You've got this question, and you get to pick one of the 3. And remember, 2 of them are correct and 1 of them is incorrect. So there's a little bit of a game of luck here, right? Which I think there is in the actual game. So I'm gonna just click on the number 1. This will pop up, and this is what the phone a friend looks like. And you'll click right here, and it'll play the answer. And it could be correct or it could be wrong. But this is what I was talking about earlier about going back. All of the phone a friend options, all of the poll the audience options have these links. And it's important that if you chose the 50-50 option prior to doing these other lifelines, you choose to go back to 50-50 question. Okay, so we're going to click on that and see what that did is it took me back here. Okay, let's look at the poll the audience, and I'm going to just click one real quick. Now let me show you what happens if you do not choose that option. If you come here, it'll take you back to the actual question. Okay, so that's why it's important to pick that right link. And that, like I said, that's one of the rules of the game, is just knowing, hey, if I choose the 50-50 option on that question, I do need to go back to the 50-50 question option. Okay, and then let me go back here just so you can see again. This is what it looks like. You'll have these polls here, and like I said, 2 of them will be correct, and 1 of those options will not. All right, and I will show you. Let's just come back right here. So here we go. Here's the Millionaire game. I hope you have that you enjoy it. There's no time limit on this. No, obviously in the regular game, on the real one, on the real stage, you would have a time limit. This is math, and sometimes math requires working the problem. So take your time, get the answers right, and get those 100 points, and maybe your teacher or professor will give you something out of that. So